2 words, French dip. Motherfuckers. You asked, we answered. French dip. Sam, would you please show us a French dip? I'd be honored to. I'd be happy to. I've said it before. I only have so many ideas in my head. So when you guys say, dude, can you make this thing? Yeah, we can. So French dip. Think about it. It's often made with thinly sliced roast beef. Well, I'm not making a roast beef today, but I'm making sort of a version of it, which is a, stand by, don't look, a big ass ribeye, which is essentially the same kind of meat. And by the way, Max and I had an important conversation before we started today. I said, you know, not everybody in the country right now, Max, can cook outside. Max said something like, I don't give a f about anybody, I want to cook outside. It wasn't quite that harsh, but he goes, look, and I agree, the light is much better out here than it is in our kitchen. So I'll try and tell you what you could do instead of doing this outside at your grill where 95% of the country can't even go outside right now because it's so shit. Here's our poll question for today. Do you care that we cook outside when you can't? Is that the right way to word that? Yeah, so we'll do that. Let's get the steak happening because we got to get this on the grill. So look, this is about 1.5 pound ribeye. It's thick, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, and it's going to be great. We have to season it. So here's what we do. We give it a little oil. You know I'm an avocado oil fan, so we'll use this. Sides too. And I think I've said it before, but I like avocado oil because it's a clean taste. It's good fat, and it has the high smoke point of, I think, any of the oils. Certainly one of the highest, if not the highest. For today's purposes, we're going to season with Montreal steak seasoning, even though my jar says cayenne pepper. Look, I'm super anal. I like the same spice jars. And I found this particular one. It's all my stuff. We should show a quick picture of it. Look, I just like everything the same, and the company whose spice jars I use do not make Montreal steak seasoning. Hence, the ex-cayenne pepper now filled with Montreal, with my handwritten nonsense on the side. That's all we're using. So season liberally, which looks like this. I love these big, look at these big ass chunky grains here. Ah, it's so good. This side. And then don't forget the edges when you've got a big ass, big old steak like this. And then whatever you've got here, get some of that. And then let's take it to the grill. That went on with a thud. That is one majestic big old steak. Our goal today, ladies and gentlemen, is beautiful medium rare. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sear it a couple times on this side. This, turn, this. And then we're gonna move it over here to the not hot side and let it cook like it's in an oven. Ambient temperature will finish this thing off. But we can kind of let it do its thing for a little bit. We'll probably go a minute, turn it a minute, flip it, minute, and then go over here to the not hot side. So now let's turn this kid a little bit. I've said it before, I'd rather have a good steak once a month rather than a shitty steak once a week. Now after a couple minutes, we flip. Sweet. I love this. And by the way, it's raining now. Starting to rain hard.
Where is all this coming from?
Max, you are not allowed to complain. Of anybody, you can't complain. Max and I fought about this. She's like, no, the light's better outside. It's okay, we're good, you're dry, don't worry about it. And then we give it one more turn. Let it do its thing for a second or so. Oh boy, it's a f***ing downpour, man. Okay, and once it's done on both sides, we're gonna move it over here to the not so hot side, and then we shut the lid and we let it cook like it's in an oven. Anti-f***ing M. We're staying out here, I don't give a shit.
What's going on?
It's f***ing pouring right now. Just take a look. Show some of this shit. Max was hell-bent. Max does not believe the iPhone weather app.
I'm in trouble now.
No, it's fine. We've done this before. Look at my shit's getting fucking wet. Your shit's getting fucking wet. But I don't give a crap. You're staying out here. I don't care if your fucking camera breaks. Which, by the way, is getting wet on top.
I was not expecting this, and so this
it's fine.
Yeah. Just bring it inside. Bring it inside.
You don't need that thing anymore. You can take that away, Jilly.
Wait,
But
no,
with the umbrella. Here, no.
Wait, I can't hear anything now. This is like echoing.
Here, take this.
Okay, I got it.
It's still moving. We gotta go inside, Max.
Oh my god.
50% chance of rain. I don't believe it. Look at Jilly. Like we're in the fucking Arctic. This is fucking ridiculous. I'm getting fucking soaked.
Okay, we gotta move inside, I guess.
Oh, you guess. We gotta move inside. We gotta move inside. My shit's just getting everything's getting So, so it just rained like the end of the world. We started off outside and it started to rain and we go inside and Max goes, no, it's gonna be fine. So we go back outside and we're all set up. And Max, completely ignoring what the app on the phone says, it's gonna rain. No, it's gonna be fine. That's his voice when he says stuff like that. Nope, it's gonna be fine. And then that happened. And now we're inside. I'm not going back outside. I don't give a shit. What happens? It could go to 90 degrees and perfectly sunny. I'm not going out there. The steak that was on the grill is now in my oven. We got it beautifully seared on both sides. Nice, lovely. It's in the oven at 275, so it will cook slowly. Not go gray anywhere. It should be still gorgeous by the time we're done. So, frustrated. Should have just been inside, but Max couldn't do it. No, the light's so much better. And I'm like, will they not watch if we shoot inside? I've got an okay kitchen. No, gotta do it outside. Has to be outside. So, French dip. So, two important parts have to happen now. Onions, which for me are very important. They don't go in every French dip. In fact, I think if you look up classic French dip, I don't even know if there's onions. And you know what? I don't give a shit if there's onions because I want onions. And then the dipping broth is very important. So let's get them both going right now. Come on. So look, here's my wet onions. Wet. See that? That is only rain. These now need to start to caramelize. And how are we gonna do that? We're gonna give it two things. A little bit of oil, and yes, I'm still using avocado oil, and some butter. Now, the butter will melt, the oil will lubricate, and over the next, 10, 15 minutes, these are gonna start to get pretty badass. And then we'll start to add a few things to them. So, these guys just need a little love and a little bit of time. Like the steak that is now taking longer in the oven because of the f***ing rain that Max made us shoot in. So just let them do their thing. I mean, look, they're basically white now and you want them like a golden color. While they're cooking, let's turn our attention to the broth. Because next to the sandwich, the broth is arguably the next most important part. This is 2 cups of beef broth. You can buy it, you can make it from bones, or you can get the cubes or the what's it called? What's that stuff called?
The bouillon?
The bouillon base. Here's what I use. I use this stuff. It's deep, it's rich, it's full of flavor, and a teaspoon of this turns a cup of water into really decent beef broth. It's like sludge. They also make a chicken one that I keep. These are much more affordable than the box broths that you can buy, I find. So while the broth is heating, you can see it's starting to just bubble a little bit at the edges. We're gonna add a couple things. We're gonna add a couple tablespoons of vermouth. It's one of my favorite things. 1, 2. A little Worcestershire and some thyme. We mix. And then over the next few minutes, This is just gonna do some really fantastic things. But just let it come to a little bit of almost a boil and turn it down to a simmer and just let it do its thing. Meanwhile, we come back to the onions and we can see, look, they're starting to get some beautiful color. Color is everything in this. That's what the whole thing is about. Now look, you could just leave them like this and they'd be fine. But here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna add also to the onions a pinch of thyme and a couple spoonfuls of this beef broth, just to give it a little extra love and richness. And then we mix. Oh, the smell is crazy good. Crazy. Just let that continue on its path to amazingness. So the onions are cooking. The beef broth, the jus is cooking. The steak is finishing in the oven. We're getting very close. I know that the onions are extremely fantastic and gorgeous. A little salt and pepper, give them a little stir. And at this point, they're so beautiful, we can turn off the heat and set them off to the side. Steak is ready. Let's check it out. Here we go. Here we go. Doesn't look any different than before, apart from the fact that it's now at like 130. Let's take a look. I wanted to pull it out at 130, and it's now, look, 129, 120. Look at that. That's what I'm looking for. Now we let it rest. Feels good. And the crazy thing is you really smell the Montreal steak seasoning on it. If you haven't used it, I think you might want to consider it. Because it doesn't just work here. It works on a burger too. Sprinkle a little on some scrambled eggs. Put it in some egg salad. Who knows? I mean, it's just a really good thing. But while I'm here, this is probably not the right thing to do, but... Oh, that color is a very good indication of what's going on inside. And because it's in my hand now, I might as well eat it. Mmm. Steaky. Mmm. Montreal steak seasoning is amazing. By the way, two things help me get it here. One is a rack. Look, if you don't have a rack, that's fine. I just like the way that the ambient temperature of the oven gets to go all the way underneath and around, and it just doesn't sit in its own little pool of juices, which are not too much, but I mean, you know, I think it cooks better when it's off the deck. And a good instant read thermometer you should have. We'll put a link to these things in the notes below. We're gonna let this rest now for, say, 10 minutes. And then, French dip, gorgeousness. Be all over the place. Be like a fat kid in a candy store. No, you can't say fat kid anymore, can you?
Yeah, you can.
You can say that?
Yes.
Then we'll be like a robust child in a confectionery business. It's so stupid. Political correctness has gone a little far, hasn't it? Oh, speaking of, yeah. I was wearing this the other day and somebody came up and went, like it. Not a political statement. I went, you're watching, thank you. It's not. It's not. Look, there's really two sides of this country. We can all play together. We can all agree to disagree. It's all cool. That's all I'm saying. I don't care about the politics part. I care that you cook, that we cook. Somebody came up the other, whose f***ing phone is that?
It's yours, man.
Piece of shit. It's Kelly. Wait.
Somebody said to you.
No, stop. Somebody said to me the other day, I can't cook. And I go, I don't believe that. I don't think it's that you can't cook. I think it's that you don't cook. And they went, oh, you're actually right. I tried a couple things, they didn't work out, and I stopped. I go, that was your mistake. Can you ride a bike? And they went, yeah. I go, do you remember when you first learned to ride a bike? And they go, well, not really. I was pretty young. I go, I can tell you what happened. You fell off and you hurt your elbow or your knee or your butt or something. They go, yeah, that's probably right. I go, well, you can ride a bike now. And the difference between then and now is practice. You go to make a steak and you ruin it. Well, guess what? The next time you go to make it, you know, okay, too much time in the pan, too much heat, too much salt, too much this, too much that. Dial everything differently and try it again. It's practice. It's all it is. I've shot 2 shows on Navy carriers. The John C. Stennis and the Ronald Reagan. Overnight on a aircraft carrier out at sea. Do you know what the sailors do all day long? They practice. Practice, practice, practice. They're not at war out there, they're practicing. And they're practicing for the moment that they need to know what to do, that they can do without thinking. I can't cook. It's not that you can't cook, it's that you don't cook. You need to cook more. It's that simple. And this is not politics. It's just get your f***ing ass in the kitchen and make something, god damn it. That's all I care about. So go to the site, makeamericacookagain.com. I can't believe we have a website for that. makeamericacookagain.com. It's crazy. But people are buying this stuff. People are buying in, and I hope they're buying in the spirit of unity, in the spirit of food and your stomach. That's what I want. This rests, then we build. Okay, let's cut. So, and by the way, if it wasn't obvious, this is something that you could get your steak prepared the day before. There's no problem about that. So all we want to do is we want to cut it against the grain. When the grain runs, is this way. The grain runs this way. So I'm going to go like this. Do you want to see the inside from the way we finished it? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, good Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the beauty of slow cooking a piece of meat like this. It's outstanding. So now we'll just do this. Now I'm just going to cut this super thin because I want to pile a bunch of this on. The smell. Here's what I smell. I smell beef. I smell Montreal steak seasoning. And I smell my stomach juices starting to work because my stomach knows how much I want this right now. So we got this, we got this, we got this. So now we'll take a good roll. You want a good crispy roll. We're gonna cut it, leaving a hinge like that. Stay there, stay there. You don't have to come over, Max. I don't need you all the time. A little oil here, then a little color. A little crisp, a little color. And by the way, that adds flavor. You don't need to do that. Well, okay, you don't, but you do. Because it adds texture and it adds flavor. Have you watched our episode on reverse sear? Only cooking a steak in the oven. Yes, I started at the grill, but I could have done the entire thing right in there. Would have come out like that. Freaking tremendous. Oh, please. And now a little bit on that side. Look at the onions. I heated them up, just bubbling away. I'm telling you, it's going to be insane. Okay, let's build this bitch, shall we? Take this, and now look. We're going to add some cream-style horseradish. I bought it. I didn't make it. Nobody freak out. A beautiful layer on that side. The other thing I'm going to add, again, I don't think this is traditional in the least, is some of this Coleman's mustard that you know I'm a huge fan of. It's all about flavor layers, ladies and gentlemen. A couple big swipes of this. Then we come along with our onions that are so gorgeously, this is not even right. I should be arrested. If the cops came in here right now and said, put your hands behind your back, you're going to jail for making something that should not be legal, I could not argue with them. And now guess what's next? You know what's next. How amazing does that look? One more thing I'm gonna give it, because I really like this part. I'm going fresh ground black pepper, and not an insignificant amount over the top, and then we close. So now, here's what we have to do. We cut on a diagonal, telling you, you're gonna want a diagonal. I'm gonna show you why in a second. We put some of that broth in our bowl, and then the sandwich on the plate. Okay, so time. And here's why you cut it on this point, because you want to dip that into the jus. Look the onions in here, the perfectly rare beef, the mustard, the horseradish on the bottom, and now it's the dip. Just get that all soaked and gorgeous. And then take a bite. Tender, delicious, beefy. The beefiness of the steak, the beefiness of the broth, that horseradish, the mustard, the caramelized onions are insane. And before I take another bite, I just have to teach you something. French dip. Yes? French dip. You know the term au jus? That's this. That's the jus. Au jus in French means with juice or with broth. So when someone says, I'd like a French dip with au jus, what you're really saying is, I want a French dip with the broth. Doesn't make sense. Don't say with au jus, just say with jus, or I want French dip au jus. A-U means with in French. I'm just trying to help you so you don't sound, not sophisticated when you're out in public. But when it tastes this good, who gives a shit if you're sophisticated or not, because it's fantastic. Thank you for being here. You can do this. Don't make the same thing all the time. Subscribe if you like us. Like if you like this video. And comment below. We're here for you. We want to make what you want. We made this because it was asked for by an awful lot of people. See ya.